Hello class. Yesterday we worked in our groups to fill out a graphic organizer by doing online research of an assigned ecosystem. And I've checked all of the group's work to make sure that we're all on the right track. So everybody has filled in a description of your assigned ecosystem, either a wetland, a redwood forest, an ocean, the coastline or beach, or an oak woodland. And you've also all filled in a description of your assigned threat, the threat to biodiversity in your ecosystem. So habitat loss and degradation, climate change, pollution, overexploitation, or invasive species. You've also all done research on the websites that I gave you in order to find two conservation efforts that lessen that threat and thereby support biodiversity in your ecosystem. And you've also made note of the sources that you've used, those websites that I gave you, or any other websites that you found. So now what I'm going to ask you to do today is to use that information in your graphic organizer to create a 5-minute PowerPoint presentation on your Chromebooks that you'll present to class tomorrow. And you'll be working in the same groups as yesterday. You may split up the tasks in your group. Somebody's going to need to type the information from your graphic organizer into the PowerPoint. Someone needs to find images, pretty pictures to make the PowerPoint more interesting for us all to watch tomorrow. And somebody's going to need to present to the class. So maybe one of you feels really comfortable typing up the text part of the PowerPoint, or maybe one of you really wants to give the oral presentation, or maybe all of you want to do a little bit of everything. It doesn't matter to me how you split up those tasks, but I do want to know that the work is split up fairly. It wouldn't be fair if one or two group members did all or most of the work. So I'll walk around once we get started to find out who's going to be doing what. And I want to go over the parts of the PowerPoint presentation with you. It should have 5 slides total. The first slide is the title page with the name of your ecosystem and threat and all of your names. The second slide should have a description of the assigned ecosystem. The third should have a description of your assigned threat. The fourth slide should have those 2 conservation efforts that you researched and wrote up in the graphic organizer. And then the 5th slide will list your sources of information, the websites that you use to find all of this information. And also please include 1 or 2 visuals on each of your slides. And let's go over a quick example of how a PowerPoint presentation could look. So in this example, I'll be showing the redwood forest is the ecosystem and habitat loss is the threat to that ecosystem and to the biodiversity of that ecosystem. So I've listed the name of the class, what period it is, and also everybody's name in my group. So this is the title page. And then on the next page, I'm going to give a brief description of my ecosystem, of my redwood forest. I'm just looking for 2 or 3 sentences here. And also include pictures of your ecosystem. You can include 1 or however many you like. The third slide will look at the threat to your ecosystem. So in this case, it's habitat loss, and specifically clear-cut logging. So you'll describe that threat and the causes of that threat. Again, 2 or 3 brief sentences, and also include pictures. And then the 4th slide will list those conservation efforts that you found. So you're going to describe the 2 conservation efforts that you researched that lessen the threat and thereby support biodiversity in your ecosystem. So this is a picture of a forester marking trees for a sustainable forestry operation, as opposed to what we saw in the previous slide, which is a clear-cut forest operation. And then my last slide just lists my sources. And I'm just looking for the websites here, the URLs. So let's go ahead and get started. We have the rest of the class to finish our PowerPoint presentations, which is plenty of time because you've already filled out your graphic organizers. You already have all of the information. And I'll be walking around in a few minutes to see how your group plans to split up that work. So go ahead and get into your groups now.